guys, and welcome to the Bristol City vs Sunderland match preview. Now, Sunderland do go away from home, their first away day of the Championship campaign in their return to the Championship, of course, and it's going to be at Bristol City. Now, it is going to be a difficult game. If you have a look at Bristol City, you know, their first game of the season, it definitely didn't go to plan. You could argue they at least should have got a point from that game against Hull. They did go up in the first half. I think it was Weimann who got the goal, and Hull got one back, and then it was a dying stage of the game. They did get a penalty, 95th minute I believe it was, to make it 2-1 to Hull. So it was heartbreak on the opening day of the season for Bristol City, and they're going to want to rectify this at home in front of their own fans, and they're getting a decent backing behind them as well. And, you know, not only that, they are a decent side, you know, particularly if you look up top. Weimann, of course, we mentioned just earlier, the goal scorer against Hull, is someone who I've been a fan of for some time now. It is quick, sharp, and his movement off the ball is absolutely fantastic. So he's going to be stretching our back line as much as humanly possible. And you'll see in my sort of preferred and wanted starting 11, a couple of changes I've made across the back, or at least the one change I made across the back to try and sort of accommodate or try and combat the threat of Weimann. And of course, alongside Weimann as well, you've got Chris Martin, who's incredibly experienced. He's a big lad. He's always a nightmare. Yeah, he might not be a prolific goal scorer, but he's a nightmare to deal with. He's got that big stocky frame, very, very intelligent, great at his hold-up play. So it's not going to be an easy task. They have threats of their own. Last season, they finished 17th. Although towards the back end of the season, they actually come into quite a bit of form. I think it was 3 wins from 5, including a draw in there as well, and a loss. You know, so they're not a terrible team by any stretch of the imagination. They are a good team. And it's a team that we need to take seriously, which we're going to have to every single game anyway. Not that we wouldn't take any other teams not seriously, do you know what I mean? But they're a good side. They're a good football inside, and they were very unfortunate to come away with 0 points on the opening day. And yeah, so what we're going to do anyway, of course, with our first game of the season, we took on Coventry. I predicted a 1-1 draw. We got a 1-1 draw. Not that I'm pleased with getting that, you know, because it would have been a lot nicer to come away 3 points. You know, we defended really well for large parts. Then we got a bit soft towards the end of the game and conceded the equaliser, which is very, very frustrating after such a bright start to the game as well in the first half. But we're going to get that in this league, you know. Our average sort of percentage in terms of possession in League One, it was like 65, 70 odd % half the time, particularly at Stadium Light. Teams sit back and let us play around and do what the hell we want with it. We're very, very rarely, if at any point, going to see that at all in this division. Because we are where we are, you know, the team that have come up from League One. Beal and end all. You can argue, oh, but Sunderland, we're the biggest team in the league. We have this, and that's what a lot of people argue with me in the comments. The size of our stadium on the history means absolutely jack shit when you don't have the players to match that right now. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean anything. You know, I saw some people say, you know, we're Sunderland, we're massive, we should be aiming for top 2. In what planet is that the case? We've still got largely a League One side who've just come up from League One. Granted, they've been tested in the Championship, but they're testing themselves for the first time in the Championship. Going up would be great. For me, it'd be far too early. But even so, we need to have a level of realism here. We're going to lose more games than we win, in my eyes, anyway. But either way, I'm not trying to be, you know, a down on it. Some realism I think might be needed at times. But I'm going to go into my preferred starting 11. I say this every time. Remember that this is my preferred, not what I expect. There is a couple of instances where, you know, I might prefer something, but I think it's that far-fetched that it'll never happen, so I won't mention it. But this is my preferred starting 11 for the game away from home against Bristol City at the weekend. So we have got Patterson in goal. We have Sirkin, Bollard, Alessi and Gooch across the back. Now, of course, I did change Bart for Alessi purely just to combat the pace of the likes of Weimann, who loves to try and get in behind, and Bart, as much as he is a brick shit house and very, very solid in the air, I think he's very good actually at his positional awareness. So up against pacey players, he can generally give himself the extra yard by positioning himself in a decent place. But I just feel like having that bit more pace. I think Bollard is very, very good anyway. Yes, he's only a young lad, but he's had the Championship experience, so this whole experienced head that has to be alongside Bollard. I think it is almost a myth, but he is a young lad still. But he's been there, done that, and he looks absolutely incredible for me, Bollard. I think sticking Alessi next to him, give us that pace, that strength. And it's 2 big lads at the back. I think it'd be a nice time to see them. I highly doubt it's going to happen. I think it will be Bollard alongside either Bart or Bailey Wright, maybe even Bailey Wright. But I think those 2 together, it'd be a good time to try them out. You know, if it goes to shit, half time, bring on Bart or bring on Bailey Wright, but still, Right back, I've put Gooch simply because he did get himself the assist for the goal against Coventry last weekend. I'd still like to see Hume. I think defensively and all round, as a right back, he's better than Gooch. But Gooch, of course, he does have that work rate, as does Hume, but he's also got that sort of momentum now after the assist at the weekend. But in the second half, he was a little bit all over the place and become that sort of predictable Gooch again. But I would generally prefer Hume, maybe at least to try him out and give him a chance. I think he deserves it after his pre-season. But Gooch, I think, is probably the most sort of solid person to put there, maybe. Now, in the middle, I'm trying it again. I know it didn't come off this weekend, and this is never going to happen. I put Embleton and Dan Neil. Evans is 100% going to start in my eyes. But even if you look at the build-up to that first goal, Embleton started that first goal against Coventry, and it was from deep. It was from around the area I've placed him now. And he spreads the play fantastically to Lyndon Gooch, who puts in a good ball, and then there is Clark to finish it. Embleton is fantastic from deep. Everyone always says, oh no, he's a number 10, he's a winger, and I have this argument every single video now. He is so much better from the centre. And other people will argue, oh, but we don't have the tenacity, we don't have the aggression in there. If you are that good technically on the ball, you don't necessarily need it. And it isn't like Embleton is soft as shit, because he's not. He can do a job. If you're that technically gifted, and Dan Neil as well, bulked out over pre-season, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say he's an absolute brick shit house or he's rock solid, of course not. But these players aren't necessarily soft. And when you have those players who are that technically gifted, which I believe Embleton and Dan Neil are, sometimes you don't even really need to even delve into that side of the game as much as you might believe. I just think that the quality between those two and the creativity to get us forward, it will be absolutely fantastic. Now, the three behind, of course, Ross Stewart. I've gone with Clark, Pritchard and Roberts. That's exactly what I wanted before the game at Coventry. Unfortunately, we didn't see that. But, because Embleton was pushed a bit forward, although we kept him coming deeper. I just think that is dangerous enough, and that there's enough creativity there to help out Ross Stewart. And I think that's probably the best front line we've got at the minute. I think maybe if things aren't going to plan, maybe we go 1 or 2-0 down come half time. Hopefully we don't, fingers crossed. But still, if we do, he might bring off Roberts or he might bring off Clark and then put Sims up top with Stewart, which I'd like to see. I'd actually prefer to see Sims up top with Stewart before we find ourselves chasing a game. I think it'd be good to see us on the front foot with those two. But this is the starting 11 I think I would want to go for. And of course, you guys let me know in the comments down below who you would like to see start on Saturday. And now for the dreaded score predictions. Of course, I did get it correctly against Coventry, the opening game of the season. And I have said, I'm going to try and be realistic. And unfortunately, as much as I want us to win, of course, or at least pick up a point, I am going to be predicting our first defeat of the season. And I think we're going to lose 2-1. I do think Bristol City will get 2 goals in the first half, and we will look way off the pace. This is my detailed prediction. I think we'll look way off the pace. They're going to come out flying because, they've got the home back in. They lost their opening game of the season. They'll be desperate to get points on the board. And I think we might struggle with the intensity there. But then I think in the second half, it'll completely flip and we'll be going all out for it. But I think we'll only manage to get 1 goal back, and it will finish 2-1 to Bristol City. In terms of goal scorers, I'll go for Vyman, I'll go for Martin as well to get one, and then for us, I think Embleton might get a goal of his own, maybe a long-range strike. I didn't quite get the specifics right in terms of my predictions against Coventry, but I got the score result right. But yes, that's what I'm going to go for. Of course, I want us to win, and I'm not being doom and gloom. It's just I'm trying to be somewhat realistic with my predictions this season. Like last season, I was just giving us win after win after win because we weren't the underdog every game. But it's just what I'm going off. My heart says we'll get a win. My head is saying I think we're going to pick up our first defeat, so that's what I'm going to go with. But yeah, so that is my prediction for that game, and that is the preview to the game. Now, my review for the game will come on Sunday because I'm at work for the game. I should be able to watch it at work. I'll keep that on the down low. If I can't, then there won't be a review at all because obviously I don't want to start making reviews of things that I've not seen. I've seen other people do that and I just think it's pointless. You can't review something you haven't watched. But yeah, I should be able to get a review out for Sunday. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think is the score, or what do you think the score is going to be. Who would you like to see start? If you're a Bristol City fan, of course, as well in the comments, let me know what you think of the game ahead coming up tomorrow. But anyway, if you're new, like and subscribe. Well, like anyway if you aren't new, but subscribe if you are new. We've just passed 15k, I say every video now. We want to keep on building, keep on smashing those numbers and growing the Sarny army. But that's it for now. You guys take care and stay jammy.